Drive-by shootings and walk-up executions are their specialties.
As well as Florencia. They're scary. They're scary. If they want me or you dead, they could do it.
Prosecutors are charging 3 alleged gang members and an associate.
With known stories of murders, robberies, and extortions, plus with new storylines being brought up to this day, yeah, the Florencia 13's definitely got a lot to go over. Whoa! Yeah, alright, it's Scar. Welcome to Cali's Most Dangerous. Let's get started. Danger rating for the Florencia 13s. The F-13s receive a danger rating of a 9.5 out of 10 based off of the gang's long history, media coverage, and reputable members who helped put the gang on the map. Why so high, or why even low for some of y'all? That's damn near a solid A if it comes to grades. They pass it with flying colors at this point. Let me know in the comments how you feel though. Here's a few reasons why I gave them the score though. On the afternoon of September 30th, 2016, Omar Hummergado, also known as Fader, Luis Perez, also known as Little D, Anthony Chiquita, also known as Basic, and Jesus Jimenez. They were just hanging out in their territory, just chilling, drinking amongst each other, amongst other things, playing cards and whatnot. That's when Omar showed stitches on his ankle and got into a story about how he had been shot a few days earlier by some Playboy 13s, a known rival of the Florencia 13s. So this made Chitika mad, man. He was angry. He was pissed, bro. He wanted all the smoke. He was saying he wanted to retaliate, man. He said it was action time. Well, that's when Jesus suggested that the 4 men go and drive through the Playboy 13's territory and see if anybody was out. Get the revenge they was looking for. That's exactly how it played out, too. The 4 men drove in Chitika's Crisis Sebring. Jesus knew of a van that did not need a key to start, so they headed there first. Chitika got in the van's passenger seat, and Jesus drove to the Playboy's territory, with Omar and Perez following in the Sebring. On the way, Jesus sold Chitika his black revolver with a brown grip. It was time to put in work. Once in the Playboy's neighborhood, Jesus pointed the gun at the man named Carlos Rubio, walking on the sidewalk. And he said he saw Rubio throwing up a gang sign. That's when Jesus said, "Get him," which Chitika interpreted as shoot him. Chitika got cold feet though. He was not willing to pull the trigger. That's when Jesus drove up the van, crept up closer, before stopping right behind Rubio, getting out with the gun, and proceeding to chase Rubio. He shoots him 3 times, 3 fatal shots, 1 bullet hitting his head, his chest, and his back. Jesus got in the car and drives off, leaving Rubio laying lifeless. Once they're away from the scene, Jesus pulled over the van, and the 2 of them got into the Sebring and advanced the van. While attempting to get away from the murder scene, they were pulled over by the California Highway Patrol. Since they were all thought they were getting pulled over because of the shooting, they all got out and ran away. The man got away, but on October 15, 2016, Jesus was pulled over by the LAPD and caught with the same gun used in the murder. Ultimately, with the help from a paid informant and testimony and statements coming from Chitika, Jesus was found guilty of the murder and sentenced to 25 years of life in prison. This case was a string of criminal activity committed by a known Florencia 13 member, Esteban Ruiz. 2 murders and 1 been an attempted murder. On June 11, 2007, Pablo Hernandez was walking home from a friend's house when he was approached by Esteban, a known member from the Florencia 13s, like we mentioned. After a brief exchange of words, Ruiz shot and killed Hernandez. This all took place in an alley just east of Avalon between 54th and 56th Street in Los Angeles, California, which is the territory claimed by the Playboy 13's gang. Hernandez is not a member of that gang, but resembled his brother, who was a known member of the Playboy 13s. Also on June 18th in 2007, Freddie Castro and Frank Mariscal were standing in front of the house on 4041 Morgan Avenue in Los Angeles, California. You know, just chilling, joking around, man, basically just enjoying each other's company. Moments later, a black Buick pulls up in front of the 2 men. That's when someone inside the Buick yells out, "What's that 38th Street life like?" Which is a rival gang of the Florencia 13s, before the man in the car let off over 15 shots towards Castro and Mariscal's directions. Mariscal was shot a few times but survived, and Castro was hit too, but sadly had passed away from his bullet wounds. It was rumored that this was a retaliation murder after they were being disrespected by a member of the Hangout Boys, a rival gang of the Florencia 13s as well. Ultimately, the cop sentenced Ruiz to life in prison with the possibility of the Rove, plus 125 years to life for the string of murders and the attempted murder. On August 20th, 2009, Lavelle Adolph was driving on Avalon Boulevard near 79th Street when he pulled up to a red light. While waiting at the light, he looked over and noticed Javier Manuel Uola pointing a gun out the open front window of a car to his right. That's when Adolph took evasive action and does a dash, accelerating into oncoming traffic, but he was still hit with the bullet collapsing his lung and cracking some of his ribs. He hit a few corners, losing the men in the process and caught the medical attention. Adolph did not identify the driver of the car, but recalled that he was Hispanic with long hair. Well, two police officers were patrolling nearby and heard multiple gunshots within seconds and saw a car speeding away from the area, exiting a number of turns. The officers followed the car, and soon they activated the patrol lights. That's when the car accelerated and drove through stop signs and a few red lights. When the suspect's car stopped abruptly and the four men got out of the car and ran off. The officers got a good look at the driver, a male Hispanic with long hair and a tattoo on his neck, which was later identified as Ulola. The police officers chased and apprehended one of the passengers, Christopher Edwards, who was holding a gun when he exited the car. The suspect's car was impounded, and investigating officers found documentation inside it indicating that it had been recently purchased by Uola. Like already mentioned, Edwards was caught, but during the chase he quickly dropped the gun and officers recovered it. It was a .40 caliber. The same caliber casings found in Adolph's car, in the same street area of the shooting, and in the suspect's car. The casings matched the casings, and the police criminal test fired from the recovered gun. After first denying any knowledge of the shooting, Edwards told police and later testified that the car was being driven by Uola when Adolph was shot. Edwards, then a member of the Florencia 13s, had been picked up earlier in the day by Uola and his companions, a female, a male member of the Florencia 13s known as Bullet. Edwards recognized Uola as a senior member of the same gang who used the nickname Yogi. Uola was a shot caller, someone who does whatever, and whatever he says goes. When the car was traveling on Avalon Boulevard, Uola grabbed a gun from the side of his seat and started shooting out the window towards another car. After the shooting, while they were being chased by the police officers, Uola ordered Edwards to take the gun. Ultimately, Uola was sentenced to 45 years in life in prison. Yeah, that 9.5 and a 10 ain't no joke. These niggas is known. It's not about how you play with them, and it's not about how you play with their name, man. They do not play when it comes to their game. It's like, if you go to their block and you a op and don't stop, you might end up shot. Bars. Nah, but for now, that's only a few stories, man. That's only a few. Trust, these cats, they got a lot. Like, these Vatos got a lot of history, and we're about to address all that as we explain. Who are the Florencia 13s? How do they roll? What are they known for? Formed in the 1940s, the Florencia 13s are primarily Latino gang located in certain sections of Los Angeles, California, also known as South Central. But although they originated in South Central, their territory stretches all the way back to Bell, California. This makes the F-13s not only geographically the biggest Sereno gang in Los Angeles, but one of the biggest gangs in Los Angeles, period. Yeah, and these Vatos are deep. Like, if you trying to cross them, that hill is gonna be steep. Bars, nigga. With over 20,000 active members and them branching off to several states and countries as well, they're one of the biggest gangs in America. Being that big of a gang and having a lot of its top members being shot callers and generals for the Mexican Mafia means it's basically gonna be a storyline about them always. The Florencia 13s are based in the Mexican Mafia's top gang when it comes to Sereno gang politics and the structure and how they operate, not only in the streets, but in the prison system as well. Look, it ain't no kumbaya over there. If you a op, don't expect a warm welcome. Nah, seriously, for the benefit of the Mexican Mafia, they're known to carry out assassinations, assaults, and even big on trafficking within the prison system. But don't get it confused though. The Florencia 13s have multiple reputable members who have numerous storylines in the streets of Los Angeles as well. Matter of fact, it's widely known about OG Trinidad Iglesias, also known as Trini. Trini got into it with the Los Angeles County Sheriff in 1971 and ended up shooting the sheriff with his own revolver, taking his life in the process. Also, Trinidad's brother was murdered, and Trinidad thought the pigs killed his brother for retaliation. This set Trinidad on a mission for more blood. One day, he followed LASD officer into a bathroom and shot him in the face. The pig survived and identified Trinidad as a shooter, but he was still found not guilty. One lady of the jury said he just didn't look like he could do something like that. That's why I held out for the not guilty. That's just another lesson. Never go off looks. Anybody could be with the action. The F-13s are mainly a Latino gang, but they have a history of putting on other races as well. Also, doing my research, I found some older OGs who was black, so they definitely have some black members who were, back in the days who OGs doing their thing. But up until recently, there was a deadly war between the East Coast Crips, which I'm going to go into a lot more as we go into, more who were the Florencia 13s. But this turned racial. These days, it's the truth between the two gangs, but the question I have y'all seen any current generation black Florencia 13 members? Same as usual, man. Let me know in the comments if there's any Florencia 13s watching this or listening. Let me know, tap in if y'all got any newer generation African American males, or if y'all got y'all ears tapped into the streets. If there any other race other than Mexican, I've seen a few whites back in the day, but is there any black Florencia 13 members? Let's have a conversation about this. Let's talk about it. The Florencia 13s are way more than just a few stories though, man. These Vatos have a crazy history that stretches back over 6 decades in California. History of the Florencia 13s. What card they run with, subsets, cliques, allies, past and current beefs, and a lot of other things. The Florencia 13's history goes way back to the 1940s. I'm talking about when Vatos was wearing the zoo suits. Matter of fact, a lot of Florencia's 13's formation is from the result of the zoo suit riots. A little side story or history of the zoo suit riots. There were a series of riots occurring from June 3rd to June 8th in the year of 1943 in Los Angeles, California, involving white Navy members stationed in Los Angeles County and young Latino and Mexican American men and city residents. These riots all racially motivated. There's no sugarcoating it. It's no beating around the bush. We're gonna tell it exactly how it is. I read a few articles claiming, they consider the zoo suits to be unpatriotic and, during World War II because they were made from large amount of fabrics. All right, look, if that was the case, why did they attack and strip children, teenagers, and youths who wore zoo suits? Why did they burn the material instead of collecting it? Most importantly, why did around 200 settlers mob to the east side of Los Angeles, California, an area dominated by Latino population, and target and beat anyone they seen in the area? It's simple. Only minorities wore zoo suits. You see African Americans in them, Filipino Americans, but mostly you see Mexicans, and they wore them, and the sailors knew this. Well, after the zoo suit riot, small Latino gangs started forming like the Linwood Paragons, the Watts Barrio Grape, the M Street Watts, and just like their theme song, influenced by the Paragons, the Florencia 13s formed in the mid-1950s. Yeah, this gang is that old. They were around a good 20 years. They were around a good 20 years before the Crips and Bloods formation. When it comes to cars or brands, in this case, the Florencia 13s are Sureños or Southerners. Matter of fact, when the Mexican Mafia, aka the leaders of Sureño, was first forming, come on, keep up, a lot of his members were coming from the Florencia 13s. Some of his members include Ralph Mata, also known as Ralpha, Victor Miza, also known as Gator, Armando Ochoa, also known as Perico, and David Pease, also known as Puppet. The Florencia 13s pay allegiance to the Mexican Mafia by adding number 13 to the end of their name, which represents the 13th letter of the alphabet, the M. Quick question. Also, doing my research, I found some info online saying that Florencia 13s had the 13 in their name way before the Sureño brand alliance in 1994. Pretty much before the alliance, instead of the M standing for Mexican Mafia, it stood for marijuana or motor. Is this true? Is this some Florencias or anybody with their ears tapped in, let me know. When it comes to Florencia 13's cliques, they have over 30, consisting of multiple operating in different areas of Los Angeles County. The oldest cliques are the Jokers, the Malditos, Locos, the Midgets, the Diablos, the Termites, the Los Animals, and the Assassinations. These cliques gained a nod of attention after being featured on the Gangland TV series in 2020. Some of the other cliques include the Criminals, the Gangsters, Home Street Locals, Huntington Park Termites, the Little Chicos, the Locals, the Night Owls, Palm Street, the Pee-wees, Termites, the Clans, the Tiny Locals. Also, the female cliques include the Gangster Locas, the Baby Locas, the Midnight Locas, and the Tiny Locas. And trust, they are just as active as their male members. The Florencia 13s wear a lot of Florida Marlins attire with the F to symbolize the, Florencia and represent that gang. When it comes to locations, the F-13s are located in Los Angeles, California, between north of Slauson and south of Firestone, and west of Central Avenue and East Compton. Also, portions of Florencia 13's territories are extending further west into the city of Los Angeles and to east in Huntington Park. And Florencia's 13s have the biggest territories in Los Angeles. Having that much territory and having over 20,000 active members means the F-13s are definitely going to have a few extra enemies to deal with. Rivals of the Florencia 13s. When it comes to rivals, the F-13s definitely have a lot of those. They beef with the 18th Street Gang, 38th Street Gang, the Hangout Boys, Hat Gang Watch Crips, the Gray Street Crips, MS-13, Huntington Park Locos, the Playboy 13s. Some of the older rivalries go way back into the 1915s. Those are the Watts Barrio Hickory Streets, Watts Barrio Grave Street, Watts Barrio Elm Street, and the Watts Jordan. But the most deadly and probably the most known beefs, matter of fact, wars in Los Angeles, go ahead and guess it. The East Coast Crips. Beef with the East Coast Crips. This beef goes way back to 1999, and it's alleged the start of it is from some East Coast members stealing drugs from Florencia 13s. So the East Coast Crips and the Florencia 13s used to actually get along, or at least they did a lot of business together due to the still booming business of crack in Los Angeles, California. Well, one night some East Coast members were supposed to drive a delivery from out of state back into Los Angeles, California, and it was supposed to be a simple transfer. They pick up the packs, they drop them back off to the States, and then they take them back to the requested location. But they never showed up to the place the Florencias usually meet up at. Instead, the East Coast members, they keep the 300 kilograms of drugs, distribute them off to their members, while also leaving the Florencias ready to go to war. This is exactly what played out too, with several casualties coming from both sides, and also members losing their life either in prison or losing their life in the war. It had a notorious reputation around the city of Los Angeles, but also around the nation. This war got so bad that it was alleged that it led up to a lot of racial tension in the area. Matter of fact, it was alleged that F-13 leader Arturo Castellanos sent a word in 2004 from the Pelican Bay State Prison that he wanted Florence members to begin cleansing against the East Coast Crips. This led to several more killings, including Marcus Mathis, also known as Hamburger, who was a 23-year-old from 7-6 East Coast Crips, who was shot and killed by Florencia 13 members. It's safe to say it was a lot of bloodshed on both sides, so it was definitely cool to see this war come full circle and finally come to an end. In 2019, high-ranking members of the Florencia 13 were able to negotiate an agreement to end the conflict with the East Coast Crips, which officially began in September 2019 after several weeks of talks. Now still, there's always the Kai Palos who are extra out, dissing hoods on both sides, but for the most part, they're neutral, After a few meetings between the gangs, there was a set of rules put in place that both sides they agreed to abide by. Basically, there's no more guns, used to kill your brother. If it's beef, okay, let's talk about it first. If it comes down to it, okay, throw them hands, let's do what we gotta do to get this situation over with. This truth was set up by some OGs in prison, and it definitely sent the right message in Los Angeles and put us in the right direction for ending gang violence in Los Angeles. Now, there's little issues here and there, but you know what? For the most part, it's dialogue between the gangs, you know what I'm saying? To prevent anything from escalating, you know, and as far as these two gangs go, these are two of the most dangerous gangs in Los Angeles as far as their history tells. So that was a huge start, you know, that's all love on both sides. Allies of the Florencia 13s. The Florencia 13s don't have a lot of allies. It's pretty much free smoke with anybody who has an issue, and it's usually solved with a pistol. Bars. Alright, allies of the Florencia 13 include the Mexican Mafia, most members of the Serenio brand, as well as the Maswad Bloods, the Pueblo Bishop Bloods, the Harvard Park Bloods, the Violet Boy gangs, and they're also cool with the Hoovers as well. They've been functioning a few times together and stuff like that.
We got the Florencians out here, dead homie. Shout out gang, you know what the fuck going on. But shout out my Florencians.
Prominent figures from the set. I mean, who's the OGs, the YGs, the rappers, shit like that. First off, doing my research, I found several Florencia 13 members who are longer with us, so rest in peace to them. A few of them include Joshua Badola, also known as Chucky, who died November 27, 2007. Also, Martin Ortez, also known as Crazy Boy, who passed on June 9th in 2015. Ramon Alceguera, who passed on January 21st, 2004. Some of the triple OGs include, like already mentioned, Trinidad Iglesias, also known as Trini, Marcello Baeza, also known as Gabby, who was a founding member, Ruben Sanchez, also known as Snuffy, who was also a founding member, Artelo Castellanos, also known as Topless, Braulio Castellanos, also known as Babo, Rosario Ramirez, also known as Chango, and Michael Contreras, also known as Oso. I'm going to leave a list of the other OGs in the description so you guys want to go check them out. They have a few rappers though who are putting in work as well. I definitely putting some heat at a few of them, include Vontaaay. Yo, he's hard, like crazy storytelling, like it's grim, it's grimy, like you gonna like it, like, and he's hard, like in your face with delivery, like his flow is crazy, like you definitely gotta check him out. And Richie making moolah.
My loyalty's like a grown dog, so if you treat me right and do me wrong, I'm biting off the hand stays cause it fed me. I want the rest to come and get me so I can send it home with his pockets empty. A white girl gives me Becky, my black chick calls it Necky, and my Mexican bitch already left me. Damn, I really love that bitch. I hope she.
My white girl give me Becky, my black chick calls it Necky, my Mexican bitch already left me. Damn. Look, this nigga is a fool, bro. Like catchy ass lyrics, like, and he's hard as hell. Like definitely got a catchy flow, bro. You gonna be like, okay, I fuck with it. Like, and he talk about some grimy stuff as well. Like he got some party songs for you, and he also got like some grimy, like for the hood songs as well. Like I promise y'all gonna like both of them fools. Go check them out immediately. Operation Joker's Wild. In 2007, a gang injunction called Operation Joker's Wild was instituted by local law enforcement, the DEA, the ATF, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, the IRS, the FBI, and Los Angeles County Probation Department in an effort to investigate the gang's drug trafficking, extortion, and racially based murders of African Americans. During the investigation in 2007, 102 members of the Florencia 13 were listed in indictments, leading to the biggest gang raid in American history at the time, with 96 of the 102 members been arrested. Charges have ranged from drug trafficking all the way up to murder. Current state of the Florencia 13s. The Florencia 13s are still one of the most active gangs in Los Angeles, California, and storylines popping up about these Vatos damn near weekly. Matter of fact, there was an LAPD officer here in their territory in Los Angeles looking for some property at around 11 p.m. at night when he was robbed for his chain and killed by 3 Florencia 13 members. I don't know, man. That's a little fishy. Like, you in the hood at 11 o'clock at night looking for property. Like, I don't know about all that. Maybe that's some rich people shit. Maybe they want to go check the area out at nighttime, but nah. I don't know, man. I don't know. But, bruh, at this point, the cops are over patrolling certain parts of the Florencia 13's territory. They won't do it. They're not gonna go toward this area at all. Like, they have a notorious reputation with civilians, gang members, and even the pigs. These essays are not to be played with. They've gotten so big to the point where they have subsets in other states and countries. They have subsets in Oregon, Mexico, Nevada, Illinois, Ohio, Colorado, Utah, Missouri, Alaska, Arkansas, Kansas City, Oklahoma, Wisconsin, Washington, Hawaii, Arizona. They even have some subsets in other countries as well, like Mexico and Canada, all the way to the Netherlands. And they probably got some other states I'm not mentioning. Y'all let me know in the comments if I'm leaving your state or hey, country in this matter of fact. Let me know if I'm leaving y'all out. Rep your state, nigga. Rep your state. But yeah, the Florencia 13s are still around. And if you went into one of the actives, you might hit the ground. So if you see one, don't make it sound. Otherwise, it's going down. Bars, nigga. In conclusion, if you didn't get anything else from this video, just know that the Southside Florencias are nothing to play with. It's a long history and foundation that stretches back to the 1950s. And even a gang injunction didn't stop the gang from growing and expanding. They have several reputable members who make sure the gang still stands strong to this day. And it doesn't look like they're gonna change anytime soon. Hopefully, this gave y'all some insight on how the Florencia 13s operate. Man, if you didn't get nothing else from this video, just know if you see one, even if you got your gun, you're done. These Vatos are like Bebe's kids. They don't die, they multiply. Like, subscribe, hit that bell if you move well. Any crazy stories I got from the Florencia 13s though? Did I miss anything? Did I get anything wrong? Y'all let me know in the comments, man. Let's have a conversation about it. Scar signing out. Y'all stay safe and dangerous out there.